Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today we take a deeper look into the new Octane version 2026.1 and yeah, let's get started. Before the video starts, I want to show you some project that I did. It's called Lazytextures, where I upload my 3D models and materials that I made, and yeah, maybe you check it out. It's free, CC0, you can use it. I work on a bridge where you can export your materials or models inside of Blender or Cinema4D and Octane Redshift, and also I will upload more and more models to the public and everyone can use it. And I also want to do some tutorials to make real PBR materials inside of the 3D world with real images, and I will publish that also on my Patreon. That's in the description, and I hope you like it and maybe you find some materials or textures that you like. Have fun with the video. So first we have the Meshlets update. So as in the preview version from last year, we have Meshlets with a Meshlet ID, and with this setting we are able to use LODs and Meshlet that are working with animation. As you can see, the wireframe is changing and the mesh is changing, but you can really notice it inside of the render. This is a model from my website Lazytextures that you can download and use. And for example, as you can see, you have like the meshlets. I show you how to set up it, because I tried it at first and I was really confused how it really works, because you need to set up some things. So this is the laser bridge that is coming soon, and as you can see you get this pretty tree. And what I also did is I set up an wireframe AOV inside of the AOV manager, and we have displacement. We don't want that for now. And as you can see, it's completely normal and behaves like it should be, so you always have like the same topology and polygon count, and it doesn't work, so you need to set up an Octane tag on your object and then go to update Meshlet ID or give it a custom name and enable Meshlets. And as you can see, it builds like this Meshlet. You need to give it a uniform name, because as you can see, if we go to update Meshlet ID, somehow it makes it bigger and it doesn't work on your size like it should be. I don't know, it's a little bit confusing, but as you can see how it's working a little bit, but not that much, because you can go for LOD selection bias, and if you drag it down, as you can see, it works a little bit more. I don't know, so you have a different bias, and if you make it higher you don't see that much changes, but we can go for something like this, and as you can see we get closer, we get more resolution, and this is how it works. So you have like something like nanite in Unreal Engine, where you can just go into your mesh or set up this LOD, or like a camera based remesher that remeshes or stores only your only the topology if something is close or not close, and you can have like less polygons and you don't notice that. That's perfect for memory management. I don't know, you don't need that much, you don't have that much VRAM, or your scene is really big, you always get the problem. And yeah, and it's reading this directly from disk. It's like mesh information that Octane gets directly, so that's a nice feature. And let's go to another one. So for the next one we have the new displacement methods. We got some new node to play with. It's not exactly new nodes, but we have some updates for existing nodes that we already have. Also, you could set up different material modes, or which material is created if you double click in here. This is on material, and now it's added on Octane PBR. In my example, you could also go for Octane material, and then if you are a Redshift material, and if you double click you get like the material that you set it up there. So I will use this for now, the old one. And what I'm going to show you right now is for displacement you have now the opportunity to use noises not exactly the C4D noise. I don't know why this is not working, but you can't use this. But the noises or the OSL noises that you have, like the fractal noises or like this kind of noises that you could use in here, are now able to use in displacement. That's really good. So I don't know why, but this is not working for a long time, and that's a little bit stupid, because if you want to do like a paddle map for your asphalt or do some other things like water or something, you could use real displacement. You need to use it in the bump or make a texture out of it, and you don't have that much control over it, because a fractal noise or a Perlin noise is like just a mathematical opportunity or mathematical shader that you can put in there, and not tileable or something. You don't see repetitions in the distance, and this is a really good feature that I like. Talking about repetitions, we could go back to Lazytextures and search for a material, for example. I would use one with displacement, so something like, I don't know, I like this one. So as you can see, if we put this in here, we also have like another update, but I think that comes with the last version. So as you can see, the displacement is a little bit different. Normally it should be a little bit more up-res, but right now you need higher numbers to use it. I don't know, I think they changed something. And also we have some issues in here. I don't know why it's looking like this. Normally it shouldn't. Okay, if we use the quality normal, then it should look like it, yeah, like it looks right now. So we go for less specularity, we don't really need that much. But as you can see, you have like these repetitions and everything, and the problem is, for every repetition problem, you use like a chaos node. So for texture repetitions, you use the chaos texture, isn't chaos node, but as you can see, you have like texture projection and everything, and this is completely updated. So for this example, we can use it on here, and as you can see, if we go in here, it uses the grid scale and everything that you can set up in here, and creates like a tileable version. So it damps out some parts of it and created a different pattern, that when you have a texture like this and you repeat it every time, obviously you get this texture repetitions in here, and you can see hard lines, or not even hard lines, I mean like you see, okay, the texture is copied every time. But if you use something like a chaos node right now, as you can see, we have like a randomness in here. I would use it for the standard right now, and the problem was in older versions that you can't use the chaos node inside of your normal displacement texture. And right now, as you can see, I think we need to go back to high, and as you can see, with the high mode it works again. So I think the quantity normal mode is like the normal setting of the old version, and it doesn't work. But as you can see, if we set it to high and we set this higher or something, as you can see, the displacement is now working. Okay, now we have some hard cuts. I don't know, maybe it's because we repeat the tile of it, or there's somewhere a part where the texture is really bright and we can't really see it, but I don't see the problem. Maybe it's inside of the displacement node. I don't know why we have these hard lines, but maybe we need to play a little bit more with it. So okay, I played now a little bit with the settings, so maybe we need to play with the settings and try to get out of this problem with the hard lines and everything. But as you can see, it's working, because I think the problem is the displacement, the new one, is working a little bit different inside the old one. And we also have this problem if we normally in here and go for high mode. You can see we have like this hard and weird lines. So another big change is a trace sets update. So as you can see, I set up some things. This is like the trace set green, this is the trace set red, and this is like the other objects, and you need to set up these groups for trace sets. So I don't need a rule in here. But as you can see, if we go for green and say exclude green, as you can see, we can't see the reflection. As an example, we can also in and out that. As you can see, you don't get the reflection. Same thing with red. If we go to red, add a rule on, oh no, wait. We go in here and say red should be excluded, the reflection. As you can see, we don't have both of them. Also, you can go for like plane on the bottom, and you can go for green, add a rule. and exclude the shadow, and as you can see you don't see the shadow. But I think for this thing we need to set up a plane group, enable that on this. As you can see we can see the things again. Now we can exclude exclusive shadows only from specific objects, but the cube is somehow having the same group. I think, yeah, I put the green in here, so now it should work only for the green one, the plane itself, or this one. And this is how you can like control your shadows or your reflections on only certain objects that you want to exclude or include for reflections, shadows, refractions and everything. So I think this is a really good feature. It's really missing. I had one project where I need to switch to redshift because I wanted to exclude a shadow from a specific object but don't want to exclude all shadows of an object. This was one problem that I had in one project specifically, where I needed to use redshift instead because this feature was not there. In the old days you could also go for like ray direction. No, not ray direction, I think it was ray switch, right? And you could like go for opacity or something and exclude the shadows or the reflections or something in the opacity and make a mix. As example, you make a mix on the opacity and go on this for the amount and use RGBA color and put it in here and black in the other one, and then you had like the opportunity to use a specific method, so like shadows, and you could exclude this by using the opacity channel in like inside of a material. But right now you don't need to do that because now we have this feature, and I think it's a really good feature and I really like it, and you definitely should use it if you want to exclude some shadows. So as an example for a good usage is you have like and scene like this as an example. Wait, I give you a quick one. You have like a river or something that you want to render, and sometimes you have like a big scale of an environment, and obviously you want to have some cloud shadows, but you don't want to render like volumes. So what I always do for this type of rendering, I set up my stuff. So this is a quick example how I would use something like this. As you can see, you don't you have like a shadow blocker to get like God rays or something, or light, but as you can see you have the reflections in there, and obviously you don't want to see the plane. So first we go for the top plane, and normally that's I always do with like this type of planes because you don't want to see it in the renderer. You just go and go for visibility, camera visibility off. So right now you just see the God rays, but the problem is obviously you have like the problem in here. There is a reflection in here that you don't want to have because you just want to have to see like the shadows that's coming through. Okay, you can't really see hard shadows because it's like a plane with obviously that is using specularity to emit like water or something if you have a river. That's my example, and as you can see you have this problem. So what I do is I go for this and delete the old ones, for example, remove, and add it and call it clouds. So this is the clouds one, and then we have water, and this is obviously the remove, and we call this water, and then we go in here and say clouds excludes the reflections and refractions, and as you can see now you have like you still have like the shadow blocking or the cloud blocking for your clouds. You still have the shadows, but you don't have the ugly reflections on the water, and this is like how I would use it in the day-of-day work. Maybe you can see it a little bit more if you would. Oh no, fake this is already on. Okay, but I think you get an idea how this works and how important it is to use something like this. And yeah, go to the next feature. So this is another feature that Octane now have. It's neural radiance cache. I don't know what this is exactly, but what it does is you get like a better representation of your render in the first sample, or like the sampling is a little bit different. So I can show you what I mean. This is like the render like we got it now. So maybe I do something like this. As you can see, this is only one sample that I'm rendering, and we can compare it. So store render buffer. And if we enable neural radiance cache in here, as you can see, it's working a little bit better, and the sampling is definitely more like it should look later. So we can store that right now, and I can disable that and go for like 100 or something. And as you can see, it works a little bit different, but you can get a better idea of what the render is looking in the final if you get this setting on, because the light interacts with bounces and everything only after it gets some more information with sampling. And I mean, Octane has some problems to render this kind of scenes if you have like a room or something with only one light that is shining through a window or something. But this setting is getting better results, as you can see. But with more samples, it looks like it should be later, as you can see. I mean, it's a little bit greenish if you enable that and go for the first frame, but it's working really good, and I would always go for this kind of thing. So maybe sometimes you need to do like a preview render for your client or something, and this is a perfect setting to get a good idea how it looks like in the final render, with obviously some grain, but you get a better idea without losing some information of how the light interacts on more light samples that are shooting in the scene. I mean, as you can see, it's pretty dark here, and here you get like some idea how it looks later. So yeah, that's a really good feature, and go to the next one. So another change is the MaterialX OpenPBR change. So right now you can use MaterialX and OpenPBR to make materials. So you have like a new material that is called Octane OpenPBR. So this is like a new material that you get, and it supports like variety of all of the materials that are used in other render engines or in Blender. So it's really nice if you make like code or something, or you are a programmer, or you try to make a bridge or something else, or try to use like a standard version of materials that is used in other render engines. So it's really good and nice to know and nice to use. So also we have like fuzz layer that is new, I guess, the specularity or specular layer, and the whole build of the material is completely different through all of the other materials. So I think it's really nice. It's also using a different subsurface scattering method, and yeah, I can show you some examples for that. So as you can see, you can do all of the things that you can do before, but it's a little bit simpler for all of the things are a little bit simpler. Specifically, like subdivision, subsurface scattering, I mean, is like a little bit simpler. You don't need to set up the medium and everything. It works, like, in my opinion, way better than before, and you don't need to play that much with that much settings. And I mean, it's a little bit more intuitive for an artist to use like subdivision or subsurface scattering. I mean, sorry. And I think you can play more with it, and I really like that change that we have MaterialX right now. I could also talk about the properties, because you have so much things to set up and everything, and yeah, you have like more control of all of your materials. We also have like this fuzz layer where you can set up different weight and roughness. It's like a sheen layer, but it was a little bit different. I don't know how this is exactly, but I mean, I like it, and you could also play with that. So yeah, you have more control, you have more like use, like in Blender or something, or other engines where this is like standard. I mean, the OpenPBR thing is like a standard material or material settings, and yeah, I really like it. And okay, another change, and this is the last change for today, is Gaussian splatting rendering. We also have in this list that you can now use big textures that get directly read it from the disk. So the handling of big textures is right now better in Octane. But also I want to show you the Gaussian splatting. I will try to figure out how this actually works to create them. So I did a little bit of research, but I need to dive deeper in that for making a tutorial about that, but it's really cool and I think nice to know. So we just use a Gaussian splat here that I found on the internet. I can put a link down in the description and you can put it in here, and normally it should render. Wait a second, maybe a higher version is working. So now it's working. I needed to use a different one. I don't know. It's from Postshot. So I think the first one don't work inside of Octane. So you don't have geometry right now. It's just like a Gaussian splat. So it's like a point cloud that gets rendered in almost real time. So I think this is really nice. And this is what you can use right now in Octane also, and you can go for materials and give it a little bit more light interaction and everything. As you see right now, it's looking a little bit wrong, but you can use the shadow visibility and everything, and intensity. I think this is the intensity of everything, and as you can see, you could also go for smaller splat size or the things inside it where it's get generated. Yeah, you can make it bigger, but then it's more blurry. But as you can see, it's really nice. Clipping mode box, ellipse. You can set up clipping modes, or you can go for a material and set up roughness or something. But somehow we don't have shadows. Axis flip, we don't want that. Tint color, so you can tint it. But we need shadows. I think the shadows that you can set up in here is more based on the shadows that it casts on the environment. Now it's getting like in a lighter direction, I guess. Or is it just glowing? No, okay, now it's getting a lighter direction. So if you set it to power and color, you get the light interaction. And I think now the shadowing is working. Now it's working. Okay, this is what you can do with that. So you can use Gaussian splats right now, and this is a really good update. Really cool update, and yeah, maybe you like this video. I made some other tutorials about Octane on my channel, maybe you check it out, and I hope I see you again. Goodbye.